this is continuously observed, and it was found that the ozone layer remediated, or how do we call it, or recovered over the years of the implementation of the Montreal Protocol. By the way, this TIAP committee, expert group, and scientists, they are reporting to the meeting of the parties, and they are reporting repair or recovery of the ozone layer.
Yeah, but how they recover? Because you have a loss there. It hurts you to feel that loss, no?
No, the recovery is going through the normal process of a keeping equilibrium, you know. And when there is no distraction, then it goes spontaneously.
Maybe I try to answer this. What we mentioned that something natural, what happened, you have the ozone, okay? We can think about it that the rate of the consumption of the ozone, the rate of the consumption, okay, it will equal to the rate of generation of the ozone. So in this case, we will have balance, and the amount of the ozone or the concentration of the ozone will remain the same. Agree about this? Okay, this is what's happened in the nature.
Yeah.
But when these solvents will go, it will react with the ozone, and so the concentration of the ozone in this layer will be reduced. And a hole, as you said, will be generated. So now, when we reduce now, we try to ban using these solvents, what will happen? When we return back again, when these substances release to the atmosphere, they will destroy the ozone. So in this case, what will happen? The balance will be disturbed. So what you will have,
yeah, it will be disturbed.
Disturbed. So you will have less generation.
Disturbed.
Yeah, disturbed. Yeah. Yeah, I will return back to this. So what it is disturbed, it means what? You will have less generation of ozone, okay, and more consumption. Less generation and more consumption. So when we stop these solvents, what will happen? Because it will return the cycle to the natural. So with the time, we are going to have, again, the amount generation is equal to the amount.
That's when we come back to the
natural cycle. Yeah, this is exactly what happened. Agree? It's okay?
In ideal situation, yes, we will come back to the stability. Maybe an example. It's similar like some people are calling it healing. You know, if you cut your skin, it doesn't mean that it will be open forever. You know.
Yeah. If I may say, there are, if we follow the school of thought of properly capturing the reasons related to the depletion of the ozone, and then the fact how the depletion can be decelerated and eventually result or lead to a hopeful recovery. There are some projections which predict, provided that the no ODSs will be further used, that by 2050, we will be in the fortunate position between 2050 and 2100, in the fortunate position, mankind, to live under the initial situation when the ozone, stratospheric ozone was in full.
There is last question now. We want one question, the last. Okay, Khala, please.
In which way the ultraviolet affect the plastic?
Oh.
Yeah, and which country they have more skin cancer?
Plastic is fine for me. However, skin cancer. Oh yeah. Thank you for help. Skin. Okay, maybe first plastics. you know, this plasma is used with some plastics to destroy the surface in order to apply paints. Like, for instance, you have polypropylene and polyethylene, famous bags. If they are not treated, if there is no high energy imposed on the surface, then you would not paint it, because it's like, it's a grease. This is a nature of the plastic. You would not have it painted. Yeah? And similar way, it works with, as we said, high energy ultraviolet radiation, which means each plastic material degrades. However, there are also tricks. There are stabilizers. There are light stabilizers, heat stabilizers, processing stabilizers, but with light stabilizers, plastics could be stabilized. And then there are also different plastics, for instance, like PVC is itself quite stable. Okay? Polycarbonates itself quite stable. Whereas, for instance, polystyrene plastics, they are, you keep a polystyrene product on the sun for 1 year, especially here, and there are cracks and skin cancer. Judge plate.
Thank you. Now, the medical conclusions or conclusions of the, let's say, sensitivity of skin towards UV radiation and resulting cancer have been largely brought into correlation with the body characteristic parameter based on substances, the pigments. And different skin types are characterized by different number of pigments in itself. I will share with you a personal example. I have my wife, she's an Austrian, I'm a Greek. But you know, British Europeans, particularly during summertime, they associate summer with a tan in the face, laying hours in the sun, particularly in the southern part of Europe, etc., etc. So she has to lie for hours, although she's not blonde, she's brunette, in order to get a tan. For me, she jokes, she says, George simply goes out and comes back with a newspaper and he already has a tan. Because I have, my skin is based on different composition of pigments than hers is. And that's why in Australia, it has been observed because they have this drastic difference. They have been observed a number of skin cancers, and that's why the doctors particularly alert the potential tourists when they visit countries for sunbaths that they should take precautions and measures against the quick and long exposure to the sunlight, because to the sun radiation in that sense. Because pigments of, let's say, Middle Europeans, Northern Europeans, I'm referring to Europe, but this applies to other, because I'm more familiar with this in the studies, are much more sensitive and than, let's say, as I said, for instance, the Mediterranean part of Europe is much more resistant. And this, the sensitiveness, I mean, it is, skin cancer is a kind of a burden. They are not so burn resistant, to make it, to formulate in a simple way. Whereas other skins with the appropriate pigment, let's say, type, have the resistance, like anti-flammable, to put it, substance or tool, to put it in illustrative, my layman language.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I leave now the floor to Mr. George, okay, to close the workshop.
Thank you very much. I would like on behalf of Dr. Sabah and Mr. Demko and of course my own personal capacity, and further on behalf of our organization, UNIDO, my director, Mr. Ahmed, and the management of the organization, to thank you, all of you, for your very vivid participation in this workshop, very valuable contributions, very challenging questions, very, let's say, high-level inputs from your side in terms of questions, in terms of interventions, remarks, presentations. And I would, at the same token, I would like to express the particular appreciation and thanks once again to our counterparts, to the National Zone Unit, National Zone Authorities, and the Ministry of Environment for their excellent guidance and support before the workshop, during the preparation, during the survey, but also for the preparation and throughout the workshop. And it is also, we are going to continue also in the form of the institutional strengthening anyhow our cooperation with the Zone Unit. These are the very important elements which create the framework of our good operation during the workshop. Now, regarding the workshop, we have heard a number of issues which addressed the general parts of the ozone regime. Permit me to call it ozone regime in the context of the phase out of the ozone depleting substances, how the mechanism worldwide operates, how it is, let's say, serving the global concern of the ozone depletion, of the stratospheric ozone depletion. But then we had very extensive presentations on the solvent sector, which is a very challenging, really, and Mr. Demko said it, and I have hinted it is challenging because it is not to compare with the refrigeration, for instance. Refrigeration, we have very clear R11, R12, we have mainly the hydrocarbons or some others. You replace one thing with another. In the solvent sector, depending on application, depending on product, and if we also include in this part the process agents, which are simply a feed substance for an end product to have certain properties, it is more challenging. The diversification, the matrix of combinations, of potential combinations, is much more complex, and it requires certain initiative, and from case to case, let's say, sometimes tailor-making. However, as far as Oman is concerned, the situation based on the survey is fairly clear. We know what was the causes of the root of the causes as contributing factor to the overall ozone depleting, let's say, event, which was very minor, of course. And it is also known what would be the alternative, the ozone-friendly or environmental-friendly alternative. We have heard about those in the survey. And we also had the exposure of the theoretical aspects, how a solvent should be, how a cleaning solvent, what parameters should be fulfilled, what the selection criteria should be, and what are the most relevant and usual applications of those solvents. In conclusion, as we indicated earlier during this question and answer session, we are going to prepare together with Dr. Sabah a report, and of course with the support and the guidance of the National Zone Unit, and we are going to address as let's say, issues for consideration, and wherever applicable, further follow-up what was raised by you today. And for instance, I will very briefly go through a number which Dr. Sabah kindly has been preparing and listening to you and to our answers. First one is, I read how it is stated here, and then we can possibly reformulate in a more fluent language. Management of old ozone depleting substances. What are other alternatives for other solvents that will not be destroying the ozone layer, and implementation of those? Then a suggestion for a new workshop in a way that the consumers will present a more, let's say, clear picture of their needs and their and the way how the solvent should be better used, or anyhow ODSs. Then about, yes, and then a suggestion for a new survey to check, to monitor the progress of the status, which is going to be basically, anyhow, it has been provision has been taken in the form of the terminal phase-out management plan, which will try to accommodate, of course, definitely all those. So I hope I have covered all the elements. Once again, I would like to thank you all really, with my highest respects and personal pleasure for all this time spent with you, and saying that, I wish to all of us bon appetit and shukran.